Welcome to the Mindset Mentor segment on today's Smart Chiropractor show. We lead in each and every show, each and every Tuesday with this exact segment because it is so critically important. Jason, you and I were talking yesterday a little bit about the topic we're going to talk about today on this show, and that is Tony Robbins' new book, Life Force, and where he is going in healthcare, which is super, super interesting. And in my opinion, every single chiropractor or non-chiropractor, healthcare professional listening and watching needs to understand what's going on at these sorts of high levels and then take away the knowledge that they can use in and for their own practice. What got you started down Tony Robbins and Life Force, and what do docs out there need to be aware of?
Well, I have to say, Tony Robbins did it again. I'm a fan. I've been following him for, at this point, I'll say decades. There's a lot I like about him. I've been to his programs. I've attended him. I've actually met him. There's a lot I like about what he's done over the past, and he's done it again. Let me get more specific as to what I mean. One of the things that inspired me years ago to want to write the book, Discover Wellness, How Staying Healthy Can Make You Rich, was very much this topic. And that was other experts, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, and a long list of other non-chiropractors who were teaching the world, teaching their communities on TV, in the traditional media, now social media and all the other digital formats, but they were teaching people about life, about health. Tony's previous books have titles such as Unlimited Power, Awaken the Giant Within, and on and on and on. And what always resonated with me was these very much seemed like topics, and I'll dare say titles, that would be totally appropriate for chiropractors to be teaching. And yet we're not. I don't really understand it. And that's what inspired me to write Discover Wellness, How Staying Healthy Can Make You Rich. It was the idea that the people's ideas that spread the most are authors, speakers, these days now influencers, people who are on podcasts, who put out content on a consistent basis. Content creators is the new term for what used to be called authors. Now, not only do you write the book, but now you do podcasts, you do daily posts, you do all kinds of different things. And when I say Tony Robbins does it again, the title of today's segment is Tony Robbins is talking about life force. Are you? You know, I don't know your background on how you chose to become a chiropractor, what brought you into chiropractic. Many times people have had a personal experience, a health concern, a health issue they healed from and said, I want to help other people heal the way my chiropractor helped me. And that is awesome. It is wonderful. I also know that there's others like myself who didn't have any real serious health concern, but we learned about the idea. I've had health benefits. I feel better. I had some issues early on, no major crisis, but I certainly know getting adjusted was to improve my health and well-being mentally and physically. But when I learned about what chiropractic is, the philosophy of it, the practical application of it, that was what inspired me to become a chiropractor, was the idea that we have an elegant way of thinking about the body, physiology, life in general, and how to apply these principles to healthcare. And I think it's pretty fair to say that most people would agree that our healthcare system is got nothing to do with health as it is currently out there in the mainstream. It is a sick care system, mislabeled, misnamed. Tony Robbins picks up the baton and writes a book called Life Force, and it's all about regenerative medicine. So you asked, how did I get on this topic? Well, I was in my email yesterday, and another, I'll say, guru is doing amazing work that more chiropractors should be doing and following direction on, Dr. Joe Mercola. I got his daily email he puts out. Yes, a daily email, not weekly, not monthly, daily. I sign up for it. I get it on a regular basis, every day, obviously. And yesterday's email was all about an interview Joe did with Tony. Backyard of Tony's house, beautiful Florida, beautiful background, probably the same background you see on the cover of his book. And Joe starts asking Tony all about regenerative medicine. Now, my message for you today has nothing to do with what's actually in the book. So I'm not talking about the content in the book, though you might find it interesting. I'm talking about the strategy for writing the book and how that applies to us as chiropractors, or how that should apply to us as chiropractors. So, life force is one of those terms that I know many chiropractors unfortunately have shied away from. There are those that are passionate about it. They call it life force all the time and don't really translate it so people understand it. And there's probably a larger majority of chiropractors that would not use that term because somehow they don't maybe think it's scientific enough, or it's not in the literature, or medical doctors don't use it, so we shouldn't use it because that separates us. Whatever your hesitancy or previous philosophy was, Tony Robbins is one of those best-selling authors that seems to hit the nail on the head pretty consistently every time. And he's also an example of somebody that doesn't have to work right now. You can look up Tony Robbins' net worth. He's not doing any of this for the money. He's doing this because he believes it's good for people. And what do I mean by doing this? Well, that's what I want to break down. So what Tony recently did is he's launched this book called Life Force. You can see it. We'll put links to it and so on. And I'll write a blog about it. I'll put links and pictures to everything I'm talking about. So make sure you check out the blog at the Smart Chiropractor, blog.thesmartchiropractor.com. That'll be up soon. And you can see what Tony's doing is exactly what we're trying to teach more chiropractors to do. Let me break it down in detail, because it has everything to do with your mindset. I know everybody wants to rush to tactics. What do I do? What do I say? Give me the script. Give me the advertisement. What worked for you? Because if you got a good ROI in it, I assume I'll get a good ROI on it, even though that's not often true. But that's the mindset most chiropractors are, I'll say, programming themselves to believe. And we want to bust that myth today, because I often reference Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister was the first guy to break the 4-minute mile. And man, wouldn't you believe that once people saw what was possible, they said, if Roger can do it, I can do it. And only 46 days after he broke the record, all of a sudden other people started breaking the record too. And that's one of the major things we try to bring here on the show each and every week. Are people doing what we thought was impossible, but are doing it successfully? Also, you can see, wait a minute, if they can do it, I can do it too. And so what did Tony do? Let's get into it. Let's break it down. He wrote a book with a title that is very compelling. Tony's not the kind of guy that just, writes something that because he feels it. He is committed to success. You've seen that consistently throughout what he's done throughout his career. Life Force is the title. He's talking about helping people heal themselves, in his case, with regenerative medicine. In our case, with chiropractic care, and helping people heal themselves. The point is that he did not call the book regenerative medicine. He did not call the book stem cells and let me teach you about some new technology. What he's talking about is the byproduct. What he's talking about is the end result. What he's talking about is the idea that each and every one of us has a life force, an inner energy, a neurology, a physiology. It is scientifically accurate to say that there is an electrical difference between a dead corpse and a live person. And that electricity is commonly known as life. And when that electricity has motion or movement, it is a force. And if you study the 33 principles and you look at our history and philosophy, this is a term that is very near and dear to most chiropractors' history. But not many of us seem to be talking about it. And that's what I wonder. Why? How can Tony Robbins be proud to write a book and talk about it, and some chiropractors feel a hesitancy, a resistance, and I don't know, a shame maybe of sorts that maybe I won't fit in if I talk about it. Yet it seems to be pretty okay for Tony to do it. But let me break down the genius in what he's doing and the genius in what we believe you should be doing also. He is following the exact formula that we keep teaching each and every week here at the Smart Chiropractor, and that is teach and invite consistently. And you will soon see us adding to that formula, teach and invite consistently. And when you invite people to something that will help them get the long-term benefits of what you're teaching them. And more specifically, that usually means joining some sort of membership program or subscription program, a subscribe and save program. And that's exactly what Tony's doing. So I want to break it down so that you see it in more detail and you really understand the anatomy of what he's doing exactly. So number one, he wrote a book, not about what he wanted to talk about, regenerative medicine, which is very much what it's about, but about what people have or want to know more about. That's their life force, not your technique, not your skill set, not what you do, but what I get out of it as a consumer, as a reader, as a follower, as someone is in your health tribe. Speak to me about me, not about you. And that's what Tony's doing. He's talking about helping people unleash, unlock, release, enhance their own life force. Why? So they can self-heal. Now, again, his technique is regenerative medicine. I'm not here to endorse it or not endorse it. That's secondary to the point. Tony is teaching people a new idea. He's packaging it in a very exciting and compelling way. And within the content of what he's doing, when people want more information, he's encouraging them to go to 2 different websites to learn more, right? Teach and invite. He's inviting people to go to 2 different websites that, wouldn't you know it, are 2 new companies that Tony Robbins has started because he knows that this topic is an important one. He believes in it, and he knows what we know, that once people learn about the ideas, the next question is, well, where do I get that? Where do I learn more? How do I participate in what you just taught me? That's why we keep saying this isn't about educating people about chiropractic. It is about teaching and inviting consistently. It's following the formula of teaching people about themselves and then giving them direction and how they can take a next step in their journey. That's the switch. That's the 180. It's not let me teach you about me. It's let me teach you about you. And if you want to learn more about how you work and you want to get better results experiencing what we're teaching, then let me invite you to take a next step. In Tony's case, again, 2 different websites. And wouldn't you know, both of those websites are different levels of memberships and subscriptions. And that's the point I want to make sure everybody's getting as it relates to mindset. Teach and invite consistently and follow that up with an opportunity for those people that are leaning in and interested to guide them on the next steps. And when it comes to health and wellness and well-being, there's nothing that's an event. It's all a process. And when it's a process, then people need to stay engaged over a period of time. If they need to stay engaged over a period of time, then they're not interested in a visit. They're interested in a relationship. And that's what memberships and subscriptions allow you to offer. So I'm going to leave the links in the blog. We'll post them probably down below, or we'll post the blog down below so you can go to the blog, look at the links and learn in more detail. But my takeaway for you for this segment is to think about your mindset, and that may need some adjusting. Look and watch what, not Roger Bannister, but Tony Robbins is doing to break the barrier of what's possible for all of us. You can write a book, you can write a guide, you can write an ebook, you can write a PDF. You don't even have to write anything. You can come up with a catchy title and teach it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on webinars to your practice. The concept is teach people something that you are an expert in that they would be curious to know, and then invite them to take a next step based on your expertise and guidance. They learned from you. They now will trust your recommendations for next steps. And when you go to make the invitation, we are recommending that you think in terms of long-term process, long-term benefits, not just quick relief and quick, immediate gratification. So what you've probably been taught is, well, let's get them in the office. Hey, come on in for a consultation. Come on in for an exam. Come on in for a first visit. Come on in for an adjustment. But Tony's got it right. If you understand what we're talking about, you understand this is a process that takes time. The trying it out is in reading the book and listening to the audios and watching the videos. And when you understand and get it, you go, great, I get that this isn't just one injection. This isn't one vitamin, one time. It's not one meal that I do well at. It's not one exercise day. It is a process that takes time. It is a habit. And when you approach it from that long-term benefit side, join my membership program, subscribe and save to my favorite supplements that I recommend, because that's what I use and that's what people ask me all the time. So I'm sharing with you the expert secrets on how you can get well and stay well in the long term. Who wants short-term health benefits? Everyone wants long-term benefits. The question is, are you teaching, inviting, and are you inviting to long-term benefits through memberships and subscriptions? That's the overall concept. If you want more detail or you want to review what I just talked about, head over to the blog. We'll link that down below. And I want your comments. I want your feedback. What do you think? Do you have a membership program in your practice now? Leave some comments down below. Is it working for you? Do you find you attract different types of people? Do you find that people appreciate the convenience and understanding and maybe even the value of long-term care, not just short-term quick relief? Oh, it's X amount of dollars per visit. People shouldn't be coming for a visit. People should be coming for an outcome. And that outcome is usually more than just the quick relief of their symptoms. So put all the pieces of that puzzle together and you will find that what Tony Robbins is doing is the perfect model for all of us chiropractors to be following. So Jeff, what are your thoughts? I know we've been working a lot on the idea of memberships, subscriptions. It's called the Payday Practice. You'll see it soon. What were some of your takeaways, Jeff?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is just anytime you see somebody that has that much clout, kind of getting into proactive healthcare, it should raise some eyebrows and get people's attention. Am I a big Tony Robbins fan? I'm somewhere in between. There's some things I like, some things I'm kind of meh on. Neither here nor there in the context of he has gotten together a big group of names, including himself. He is getting into the healthcare space, and it is not in a insurance-based fee-for-service, race to the bottom type way. It is a premium level of service that's concierge by nature that also has a recurring component to it. So my question and challenge, Jason, similar to as you asked our listeners, think about what can you offer that has membership component to it, that has an ongoing component, and priority number one, delivers ongoing value to your ideal patients. What are those things that they're looking for in their life, those performance benefits? It could range anything from and or including checking for an adjustment. It certainly could be a movement assessment, ergonomic type things, sports care. It goes hand in hand with this. Perhaps you have a gym. There's a lot of different ways you can slice it. As Jason said, please keep your eyes peeled for the Payday Practice in a few short weeks where we elaborate on all of these models, and we'll be back each and every week on this show breaking it down so you can clearly understand without having to have the technical experience. Hey, how can I take these lessons that other people, companies are bringing to the table? What opportunities are they seeing? And how may I think about applying that in my practice? Jason, it ultimately comes down to teaching and inviting consistently, whether you want to build long-term relationships or whether you're looking for short-term relationships. It all is about teaching and inviting consistently. So why not focus on the long term? It is the best way to get out there and attract more of your ideal patients, which means you can have more fun in practice. It means your stress gets reduced and you just have happier people coming in, getting what they want, which meets with what you want. And that is the ultimate win-win when you're helping them achieve what they want. And you are also, from a business sense and from a personal fulfillment sense, getting what you want out of what you've devoted your career to. We think that's the best way to do it, and that's the way to live, but it takes a little work to get there, and it's not the way the system is automatically set up, which I think is the hardest thing for everybody to come to that realization. So hopefully we can help you get there each and every step of the way and bring some of what other people are doing to the table to open your mind to new possibilities. Thank you so much for watching this video on the Smart Chiropractor. To not miss a single thing that's clinically oriented, marketing oriented, or more, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel today.